Hello Star Wars and unboxing fans, welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. Today we're going to do something a little different still in the spirit of the holidays. I've kind of gotten into a very creative mindset this month with the Star Wars wreath craft that we did, and I decided that, well, considering that I've done this in the past and I've had some pretty good success with this, so I'm going to try my hand at a Star Wars themed gingerbread display. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll try to find some pictures of some of the past displays I've done. They're not big, just something little, something very approachable. You know, but I get really inspired seeing what they do at Walt Disney World and at a lot of other places of building these huge, massive Disney themed or other themed, sometimes Star Wars themed gingerbread displays. And I thought that'd be kind of fun to do. So I started doing it a few years ago and using them as centerpieces around the holidays. And it worked out really, really well. So I'm gonna try my hand at something new this year, okay? So I thought I'd take you on a ride through it, all right? So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to set up a Gingerbread Millenium Falcon. Okay, now mind you, I'm not looking to do a Millennium Falcon that would be, you know, life size or one that would even be action figure size, okay? I'm trying to do something that would be more basic, okay, more flat, so just something that could just be a basic display, all right? So I've kind of come up with a couple of shapes here that I'm gonna do. I've used a template, which basically I just took an old, like a post office box, but we have this, okay? Yeah, obviously it has the general shape, okay? And it's just a nice, but I recommend doing this on a cardboard piece if you have it, simply because paper, once you start making the gingerbread, it starts to get very crazy. All right, so, I just basically, eyeballed the drawing off of the internet, just took a Google image of a Millennium Falcon, and I basically put it together. I tried to make the pieces big enough that they wouldn't crack off on their own, okay? Now, we put a couple of other things here with it. Obviously, you need your cockpit, okay? So basically what I've done is essentially taken out the cockpit like this. Okay, I'm kind of showing you a mirror image here. A little part of the circle in the middle, okay? And then there's just a few other odds and ends. Obviously, we have the dish, okay? That'll fit, I guess it'll fit on the side here like that, okay? And a couple of the circles, okay, there's like 6 circles underneath here. All right, and then just a few more odds and ends, okay? And the idea is, hopefully I'll have enough gingerbread to do this. I'm gonna actually do 2 of this shape. I'm gonna lay them flat, one on top of the other once they're made. And then I might do 2 of everything, just so I have a little bit of, everything is very flat otherwise. So if I put a little, 2 of them, then I kind of have a little bit of shaping, and I can actually use piping, icing to kind of connect everything and put it all together. All right, and then we just lay it on a tray, and we'll use everything from coconut to sugar to gumdrops to Hershey bars and whatever else I can find that kind of reminiscent of things that you might see on or near the Falcon, and we put it together in a little display, and then we'll see how it goes. All right. So obviously, first thing we got to do is make the gingerbread. So I'm gonna just kind of throw that all up on high speed, and you can just see that. You can get gingerbread recipes anywhere online. They're pretty simple, and when you're doing simple structures like this, you don't have to worry too. It can be a little bit more, experimental and try doing different things. Okay, so wish me luck. Here we go. There it is. There is my attempt at Gingerbread Millenium Falcon. A couple of things that kind of went a little awry was that, for one thing, the amount of space that was needed on the pan was pretty much the whole pan. I did measure it, but it didn't feel like it was like very close, so I had to kind of do a little bit of trimming. Also, most gingerbread directions tell you to, cut all the shapes out and leave everything there. Like when you're cutting the walls to a house, you leave them next to each other, so then they just snap off. Well, when you're doing something like original and unique like this, you can't really do that. So I had to kind of remove some of the stuff. But as you can see here, there was a couple other things I wanted to point out. For one thing, we have a little chocolate Chewbacca. I had some candy molds, and the other day when we made regular Christmas cookies, I decided to take the excess chocolate that we used to dip, and I filled them into a Chewbacca mold. And in addition to that, we also have an R2-D2. Since I went with the rectangular dish, this is the Force Awakens / Last Jedi Millennium Falcon. And I figured that those two characters, Chewbacca and R2, were the only two that would be near the Falcon at the moment. I guess there'll be some porgs, those little bird-like creatures, but I'm not putting them on yet. So then I just used coconut to simulate sand or snow. I used the red and green and white gumdrops, and then the non-Perels. They were actually used underneath. You can't really see them, but they're used to kind of support the Falcon, and then I put them up here just to kind of give it a little bit of decoration. Now you could do other things. You could use licorice, you could use candy canes. I chose to keep it at that. I did have some extra gingerbread, so I decided I found an old snowman, little snowman cookie cutter. All right, and I made it into a gingerbread. Now the only thing you got to be aware of is that gingerbread cookies, okay, are extremely hard, because if you're using the same ingredients that you already use for a gingerbread house, because they purposely design gingerbread that you use for houses to be sturdy and rock solid like you would like a wall. Okay, so to make them into cookies would be a little bit crunchy. So make sure you have a little cup of coffee or hot chocolate to dunk them in. And I just had some fun with some of them, and since I had a little extra, I decided to make a few with little green lightsabers, and we'll call them Jedi Snowman. So maybe I'll put one of them up here too. Get that like that. Oh, nope, don't fall. So it's like a colossal Jedi Snowman. The nice thing about the coconut is it actually serves as a bit of a binding agent too. So there we go. We have our Millennium Falcon with chocolate Chewie, chocolate R2, and a Jedi Snowman. Maybe it's a Jedi Luke with his green lightsaber. We'll see. I still think he has it, but we'll see. So that'll do it for this episode. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed taking the time to do it. It's kind of fun to focus your energies on something like this and just explore it and give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you make it work. You make things adjust. There were times you'll see on the video, you'll see that there were times where some of the icing was dripping out. So I just kind of took a damp cloth and wiped some of it off and started over, or I just kind of made whatever designs I felt would work, and it kind of looked like the Millennium Falcon. And I think that works out pretty well. So, it's kind of a nice way to do it. As I said, I've done this before. I've done other ones. This is the first time I've done the Falcon. I wanted something, I try to keep things simple. I'm not one, you can find people online that do like full out, AT-AT walkers and things like that. I don't do anything like that. I tried it once. It was very frustrating, to have to keep the weight on those things and keep the legs up and have them keep from falling. It's just tricky. So I stick to more grounded vehicles. That's just me, the amateur gingerbreadist here. So that'll do it for Darth Tuba's Well, we've had an unboxing, we've had an uncrafting, so I guess this is what, an uncooking? I don't know, whatever it is. Don't worry, we'll be getting back to the unboxings very soon. I'm just mixing things up a little bit for the holidays, so I hope you enjoyed it. Happy holidays, and may the Force be with you.